It's Friday, August 2nd, and today I sit down with Jeff Meyer, VP of Solutions from ThreeWill, and we talk about the three takeaways from the Inspire conference. Enjoy. Hi, and welcome to the Work Together Better podcast. This is your host, Danny Ryan. This is ThreeWill's official podcast about enterprise collaboration, how people, process, and technology combine to help organizations, departments, and teams work together better. Hello, I am here with Jeff Meyer, the VP of Solutions for ThreeWill. How are you doing, Jeff Meyer?
I am great, Danny Ryan.
VP of Solutions
Always
for
good
ThreeWill.
to see you and talk to you.
It's good to be here in person. This is cut number 2, right? Now,
Yes.
we were doing it via the internet, and now we're going to be doing it via the same room and all together now. So let's do this. We want to follow up from one of those conferences with an I. Ignite. Not inspire. Inspire, not ignite.
All right. Let's just be quiet and start.
Okay, let's go. Let's just get into this. So 3 takeaways that you have from Inspire, the Inspire conference. You're shaking your head now. Give me the first takeaway. What do you have for the first takeaway?
Danny, I think one of the most exciting things I heard about was the Modern Workplace Initiative at Microsoft and how ThreeWill and other Microsoft partners can participate in that. And within that, I think that the things that are going on with Microsoft Teams are really exciting.
Yeah.
It's the fastest growing piece of software that Microsoft has ever released. I was surprised to hear that. And it's social media integration and ability for companies to work on projects together and share information and keep from filling up your inbox in your email. Actually placing the conversations around the documents that you're working on is very powerful. And it seems like there's a lot of opportunity for companies like ThreeWill to do a lot of development of business applications and surface Power Apps and Power BI type information within Teams. And it's becoming a very powerful environment for us to build business applications on.
So so it's taken off as a product. Lots of discussions about it, and sort of inside of Microsoft sounds like it's an important topic of discussion. Did you? And I guess there's something I haven't talked to you about. Is this sort of rolling into their scorecard for next year? Was there any discussions? Was there just a lot of this is coming, or was there things that they are concretely trying to make happen?
Good question. There's a lot of things coming.
Yeah.
And ThreeWill has built a lot of applications on SharePoint over the years, and now we can build applications on Teams in very much the same fashion that we did that. So there's new releases of things that makes Teams easier to navigate, and new features around voice that are all very exciting. And yes, on their scorecard, it's about Microsoft 365.
Okay.
And Teams is going to increase consumption for Microsoft folks.
And that was one of the things that you had picked up as Microsoft. One of the things that we do at these conferences is to understand where Microsoft is going over the next couple of years. And I think one of the things, besides Teams, that you picked up on and how it's taking off right now, is the transition over to the Microsoft 365 brand, calling a lot of basically bundling everything up together and pulling it together into a central brand. I wonder, when I think about this, Tommy and I have been talking about migrating from different platforms over to Office 365. And one of the things that we came out of it with was how the real competitor with a lot of this stuff is Salesforce, how they have a lot of different products that sort of and it's the overarching brand that they're competing with them. Same thing with Google, is that there's a lot of overlap in how Microsoft is trying to pull together their whole solution, talk about all of what they have to offer underneath this one Microsoft 365 term.
You're absolutely right, Danny.
Yeah.
And we first heard about Microsoft 365 last year at the conference, and it was presented to us in the form of a bundle of different Microsoft pieces of software and cloud-based applications. And this year, the message was I would say more pronounced on Microsoft 365, and not so much about the bundle, but about that these applications and technologies are much more powerful together. You can have Office 365, but if you don't have Windows 10, you don't have Azure AD, you don't have the identity components, you have kind of a half-baked solution. And so Microsoft 365, besides being an attractive price point with the bundle, it just brings it all to light.
I saw this last year or the year before, and we'll get into number 2 in a second here, but I heard a talk from Chris Capicella where he was talking about why they're moving to Microsoft 365. He was very early on where they were thinking about making this move. It's just interesting to see it sort of come into form now. And also as a partner, just thinking about what does that mean to us and how we go out and communicate to the world what we do. Number 2.
Modernization and, as I mentioned, the ability to build business applications. But what I'm referring to in this case is moving current business applications to the cloud.
Okay.
Some organizations have begun doing that in the last couple of years. In a lot of cases, it's been an edict from the CIO or an order from the CFO that says, let's reduce our costs. Let's get everything into the cloud by a certain date. Let's close the data center. A lot of things were picked up and lifted and shifted into the cloud, but not necessarily redesigned to be leveraging the cloud services. Okay. So as far as cost containment and reducing the costs of running the business, I don't think that companies have hit all their goals. So now it's a chance to go back, look at that and say, can we redesign these applications to use Azure services, to use some of the Power Apps, some of the things that we're seeing in the modern workplace initiative, and really reduce our costs by leveraging the cloud. So if you combine that way of thinking with the end of life for Windows Server 2008, which is coming up in January 2020, and SQL Server 2008, which support was just dropped for that in June, there's a lot of things that companies need to do right away in order to take advantage of the cloud. And keep their applications viable and move them into the next generation. So for ThreeWill, that modernization is an opportunity for us to help our customers achieve better results by using the cloud.
And so now the opportunity is even for the ones who've made the move is to perhaps start to take advantage of some of the Azure services that are being put out by Microsoft and perhaps re-architecting what they currently have to take advantage of some of those new services that are being put up and out by Microsoft.
You're absolutely right, Danny.
Yeah.
And
I like it when
and there's
right.
new things coming out all the time.
There seems to be. I can't keep up with all of the different.
We heard a lot of things about predictive analytics, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, edge computing, kind of the new definition of hybrid computing, which is that there can be a lot of technology in your automobile or in your desktop or in devices in your manufacturing facility that do some of the compute, but the data and the analytics all happen up in the cloud through Azure services. Again, I think another opportunity for ThreeWill and Microsoft partners to really leverage the power of the cloud and do things that companies maybe hadn't even thought of doing in the past because they didn't have those capabilities in their data center. We really see some great opportunities out there.
Nice. Number 3.
Number 3, maybe a little bit of a partner-centric highlight, but one of the things that came out as an announcement right at the beginning of Inspire was the continuation of user rights licensing for Microsoft partners to use Microsoft products in their business at no charge, based on achieving certain competencies and certifications from Microsoft. And that's something that historically has always been available to Microsoft partners.
That's why you become a Microsoft partner, right?
It's a big benefit. As you know, we run our business on those Microsoft products. And you think about if we had to pay for that, what that might cost. And historically, those products, Microsoft licensing them to us, probably didn't cost them a whole lot because...
You're running it on your hardware.
You're running it on your
running
hardware.
Free software on your hardware,
right.
on your networks and your hardware,
And they could control those costs because they could kind of estimate out how much software they might grant in a given year. And now that it's cloud compute and it's consumption, we give the rights to use it. It's in their cloud. It's in their data center. How many data centers are partners using? Just alone. And we like free consumption. And so we tend to use it to the max, and that might be in development activities or storage or things like that. And if it's unlimited, it's hard for Microsoft to contain those costs. So they were struggling with that, and they announced, in the spring that was going to be discontinued at some point just because of the costs. And right at the beginning of Inspire, they backed off that, reversed that decision, and said, "We know it's hard to deal with, and it is expensive, but it's a benefit that our partners need, because that's where they learn a lot." To transpose that to client success.
It sounds like there were lots of discussions around this, but I would prefer, like, if they're looking to cut those costs, is to really make sure that the Microsoft partners are Microsoft partners, are legitimately doing, because I think a lot of companies just see this as a way of saving some money. Are they truly a Microsoft partner or not? I mean, us, obviously we're a services business. Our lifeblood is developing solutions built on the Microsoft platform. But I know a lot of companies. I think there was some article that was out there that I was chuckling about how some hair salon had signed up as a Microsoft partner. It's like, no, it's like, no, you're not.
You make a good point, Danny, and I think that as they reverse this decision and they go back and give it some consideration as to how could they better control the costs. Yeah. I think we'll see some things come out that maybe make some adjustments around that. And it might be that if you're a gold partner, you get access to this much consumption, a silver partner, maybe a little less. Yeah. So maybe it could be balanced against what's your contribution to Microsoft's success.
Yep. Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah, that would make a whole lot of sense. And I think it's been a great benefit for us, but I think what we're running up against here is probably somebody within Microsoft saying we have 20,000, trying to raise the number of partners that they have because the partner ecosystem they think it looks better having a higher number, but in actuality, having a smaller set of really good, competent partners is what the focus should be on. Somebody shouldn't have a KPI driven around the number of partners. It should be around the quality of partners that are out there. What do I know? But that's what point. I just normally when stuff like this comes out, it's like the issue is with the system, and somebody's probably they're trying to drive the numbers, see how many new partners they have signed up, but really you need to make sure that the quality partners that you need.
Yeah, as a partner, we're just happy that the dialogue is continuing.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's a balance somewhere to be found in the future, but at least we're not going to get shut off from the ability to use those tools because they're very important to our business.
Yep. I agree. Maybe just to wrap up here, what other stuff did you walk besides it being a great week hanging out with Bruce? What else did you take away from
Bruce's first trip to the Microsoft Partner Conference?
Did you hold his hand the whole time?
I believe it was my 19th annual visit to that. So I'm a good tour guide.
My goodness.
And I think Bruce was amazed at how many partners from all over the world come to this conference and how many folks are dedicated to using Microsoft tools and solutions to drive successful outcomes for clients. And that's real exciting in itself. I'll quote Bill Gates. Satya Nadella told a great story one day in one of his keynotes. He had demonstrated the SQL hyperscale technology that's new and upcoming from Microsoft, and it gives SQL Server services the ability to be scaled, in an almost infinite fashion. And it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
He said he got an email from Bill Gates a couple days later during the conference. And he said, when I get an email from Bill Gates, I get a little nervous and a little curious. He says, because usually there's lots of suggestions on how I can run the business better. And he said he opened up the email from Bill, and Bill commented about the SQL Hyperscale demo. And he said, wow. And Satya said, that's the first time I've ever heard Bill Gates say, wow. So I would say that was a theme in general. Yeah. I also heard right after Inspire, Microsoft announced their results for the fourth quarter in their year. Yeah, they were $1 billion over expectations in their revenue, $33.7 billion in revenue. They were expected to report around 32.8. $1 billion more is a lot. And I don't know if you listen to Jim Cramer, Mad Money, the street,
did he comment
but
on it?
he raved for 45 minutes about Satya Nadella and what he's done for the organization since he took charge. And you don't hear Jim. You hear Jim Cramer rave, but you don't hear him talk about good things necessarily. And he said wow too. So wow was the theme. And as I said, I've been there about 19 years. I think I'm approaching 20. And I must say that I would agree with that chant. Wow.
Awesome. That's good to hear.
Pretty exciting things. We saw a lot of things around HoloLens and mixed reality. They put Satya Nadella inside a Minecraft game, and he was able to walk around within the game and interact. That was really pretty neat.
I thought you were going to say they put him inside of a Minesweeper game. I was like, oh, this could go wrong.
He's walking around on this stage, and he's got the HoloLens on, but we're seeing what he's seeing, and he's actually in the game interacting. He can touch things and see things and things like that, and that's pretty amazing stuff.
Cool. Well, thank you for doing this. Thanks for leading up our partnership with Microsoft and other partners, and I appreciate you heading out there and keeping things going, and excited about the next year and our relationship with Microsoft. Thanks for leading that up, Jeff.
Thanks, Danny. I appreciate the opportunity to go.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening to the Work Together Better podcast. We're available on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn. If you're looking for a partner to help you craft a modern digital workplace on the Microsoft Cloud, please come by and see us at ThreeWill.com. That's the number 3 spelled out, WILL.com. Thank you and have a great day.